Today is the Great California ShakeOut, and millions of people live within 30 miles of an active fault line. Dr. Lucy Jones is an expert seismologist and a trusted voice in our community, and she joins us now to talk about safety. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
You know, we have several earthquakes in the last few months, putting some people on edge. Is this a sign that a bigger quake could hit Southern California? We always want to ask you that.
I know, and I wish I could answer it. We've definitely had more than the average number of magnitude 4s in this year. And whether or not that's actually an increase, I'll need a few years to see whether it stays up. Could be a random cluster. But I do think people need to remember that the last few couple decades have been particularly quiet. So the long-term average for Los Angeles involves many more earthquakes than we've seen in the last 20, 30 years.
And, you know, we're taught this over and over again, especially today, to drop, cover, and hold. So explain why that methodology is so important that we continue practicing earthquake drills.
Okay, so yes, we're drop, cover, hold on, get to the ground, get under a sturdy table if possible, and hold on. Right? The reason is that very, very few people ever die because of a collapsing house. We have a much bigger problem that people are hit by flying objects, right? And so if you try to run out of your building, you're going to put yourself on the pathway of a lot more objects. You're probably not going to be able, if it's strong enough shaking to damage your house, you can't run, and you will now fall and break your legs or sprain your ankles. We see a lot of that. And even if you did get outside, where do you think a collapsing house collapses to? So the outside of the house is actually a more dangerous place than inside. And as I said, collapsing buildings are extremely rare. It's much more common that things are thrown around the room and hit you in that process. And being under a sturdy table helps you in any situation. I think one thing, though, is if you can't get to a table, just get down to the ground, make yourself as small as possible, and protect your head. Again, because running is a really efficient way of getting yourself injured in an earthquake.
Now, I have to admit, I have a family of 5 and I don't have one of these, but you're saying having a family plan is one of the most important ways to prepare for an earthquake. So what do people need to think about when creating one? What does that plan need to entail?
It doesn't need to be complicated. The first thing is to have talked with your family about it. Let's imagine there's an earthquake. What are you going to do? How are you going to get hold of each other? Reminding people that you're not going to get a cell phone call because the whole lines are all going to be too crowded, but that texting can work. Right? So plan on connecting with each other through texts and come up with a place where you're going to meet, potentially have connection with somebody outside the region in case one of you's in a place where even the cell towers are down and you can't use it. It's mainly about the biggest issue about earthquakes is often the psychological. They're so scary, and then we don't act very effectively. And so the more you've talked about it before, the more you've practiced the drill, you're more likely you are to behave in a rational way and really be able to help your family.
Yeah, and we hear a lot of people talk about, you know, the real threat isn't necessarily the earthquake. It could be everyone trying to get out of an environment. It could be fires. It could be a loss of electricity and communications. What is the biggest concern for you in terms of a lack of preparedness for society as a whole?
I'll go for 2 of them. One is that fire following earthquake. When we have a big earthquake in an urban environment, we always trigger fires. And if you've disrupted the transportation or the water system and you can't fight them, it now can be catastrophic and can kill as many people as the earthquake. So anything you can do about fire safety, teaching your children how to use a fire extinguisher. And, you know, right after an earthquake, you put out a fire that you might otherwise call the department because the departments aren't going to be able to come. The second thing is that after the earthquake, we are going to have disrupted water systems. If it's on the San Andreas, it's actually can disrupt all of our incoming aqueducts, and therefore have water at home. And I'd say however much water you have at this point, consider getting some more.
All right, Dr. Lucy Jones, always great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us, especially on a day like today.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.